Hello YouTube, and today I'm doing another tank review, this time in World of Tanks, and as you can see what I've got in front of me here is the t-34, the Tier 5 Soviet medium tank, and I'm going to be running through the stats and the armour especially because it's quite important in this vehicle. So we'll start off with hit points. It's got 450 hit points, which is alright for a medium tank Tier 5. Its weight load limit with the fully upgraded suspension is 31.3 tons, 500 horsepower, so it's a very fast tank, 56 kilometers an hour top speed, traverse speed 40 degrees a second, very good. Hull armour is 45 on the front and sides and 40 at the rear in millimeters, but we'll cover that, and it's 52 the front, the sides, and 45 on the rear. And we'll cover the armour on a website called Tanks GG, which lets me inspect it further, because it's definitely important. Standard shell damage, fully upgraded 57mm gun, 64 to 106. Shell penetration 84 to 140, very good. Look at that rate of fire. This thing, with this rate of fire, is absolutely deadly. And turret traverse speed 49 degrees, very good. Signal range, view range, sorry, very good. Signal range, also very good. It's the rate of fire on this 57mm gun here, this ZIS-4, 26.09 rounds a minute. It reloads every 2 seconds. And this is what I like about the T-34. It's with several medium tanks, they have certain rules allocated to them. And on the T-34, it's a kind of jack-of-all-trades thing. It's got the perfect match of mobility, firepower, and armour. Firepower, very good. It's very, very mobile. And armour, we're going to take a look at. Also, with its position in the tech tree, it's definitely, obviously it leads down to the heavies, it leads to every line. Including the tank destroyers, obviously, right there. It is a very, very good tank, the T-34 overall. In terms of in terms of the guns you can get, so I'm going to go through the guns as well. You'll start off with the 76mm L11. It's terrible. That's why I went straight for the 57mm S4. Obviously, 12.24. Its penetration's alright, but its accuracy, 0.51 accuracy. No, it's not happening. This one is one of the historical guns. Still not great with accuracy. This, however, accuracy very good. Alright, I suppose not very good. Aiming set time is a bit slow, I'll give you that. It's quite slow. And it's definitely an interesting tank. In terms of the upgrades, you want obviously the engine and suspension, that, and the fully upgraded radio, and you'll end up with this tank, which is obviously very, very good. I don't know whether you can equip. Yeah, you can obviously equip a gun rammer. With this is minus 10% loading time. It could be blisteringly fast if you equip the right equipment and cruise skills. So, with that all said, let's pop over to tanks.gg and take a look at this tank's armour in more detail. So here we are back on tanks.gg to have a better look at the armour of this tank. So as you can see, it's 45mm thick, but it's sloped, as you can see. And what the sloping does is it increases the effective thickness and also the chance that you're going to ricochet a shell when you attack it. So with the effective thickness, you reduce the weight of the tank and the amount of armour you actually put on, but technically you actually have more than what you put on. So it's 45mm, but its effective armour is about in the 50s, around here. 70mm on the lower classes. Sides, obviously, it's about 42. Rear, in its 40s again. and obviously we did the sides. Turret armour, it's definitely interesting, the turret armour. Very, very interesting. And if you angle this tank, look at the effective thickness you're getting. I mean, I wouldn't suggest angling it, because it's already angled for you, but you can if you want. And, obviously, you'll get thicker armour. Weak spots on the tank, well, these two ears here, they're not particularly strong. Commander's cupola, it's not the greatest of weak spots. There's not many weak spots on this tank, surprisingly. There isn't a lot at all. So, if we just pop over to the stats again, and it tells me the gun constraints. So, its elevation is 26 degrees, gun elevation, and depression is minus 8 degrees. And this means it could go hull down and all that, so it is definitely a jack-of-all-trades tank. So, what we'll do now is we'll pop over to the replays. I have a few for you, and we'll see how this tank performs in different circumstances. So here we are in my first replay in the T-34, and we're in Fisherman's Bay. And the first two replays I have for you show what the T-30 is like with its jack-of-all-trades traits that it has. And this one's more on its urban fighting side and taking on tanks directly as the medium heavy. It'll show its firepower, its rate of fire, and its armour protection somewhat. So I drive down here in the beginning, and I was wanting to head down into the town. It's only when I look at the minimap that I actually realise it. Here we go, see, I realise it now. Very good looking tank is the T-34. And the fact was that these were very cheap to produce, and yet were very, very good tanks for World War II. Obviously proves the communist regime's engineers and scientists were actually rather good. Another problem with this tank is that I find is the matchmaking it gets somewhat. In World War II it met Panzer IVs, not T-34s, Panzer IVs, Tigers and Panthers, and it will meet them in World of Tanks. And unfortunately the armour and although the firepower is capable very much of dealing with Tigers and Panthers, it's not going to exactly work very much armour wise. So I start taking on this, we'll move to the place, but look at the rate of fire of this. I'm reloading every few seconds. It's damage, it's alpha damage as well, it's not very good. So there we go. We've just got a broken track at the minute. And we're about to see how the T-34 works on its own in fighting conditions. Unfortunately this is a loss for me, but I will lose this, but I spot heavies and mediums moving down. And as you can see, in terms of pointing down the street, I'm very well angled. However, it's not going to be enough for some of these things, although they do all fly there. So I'm a bit cautious about going forward and firing. And this is a loss, unfortunately, but I pinged the map, obviously alerting what's going on. Half of the tanks are then in training down there, there aren't that many down here. And it means we're going to lose. There you go, see, bouncer shot, brilliant. And it's just about now that I realise finally we've lost the town and I'm about to die. And then we'll move on to the next replay, where it'll show you what it's like as a flanking tank, and then we'll just have another replay after that. So there you go, I've just been destroyed. So we lost this battle, so we'll move on to the next replay that I have and see how the tank behaves when it's a flanker. Here we are on Prokhorovka, and this shows the harshness of the matchmaking that this tank can get. It can get into tier 7 battles, as I said earlier, but this shows how it works in a hold down position and when it flanks. So we just wait for the counter to go down. And while the counter's going down this week, there'll be another random battles video. Obviously this is a weekly thing. There should be another tank review, or I may start my history of tanks series, probably starting off with either the Tiger or the Sherman. And I think that'll be it for this week. Obviously if I get a good replay, which is the way this channel's going to work, if I get a good replay that I need to show, I'll obviously post that up as well. And then next week there should be a few videos as well. Obviously this tank is actually rather quick, but it's not doing its 56 km/h top speed. It doesn't usually reach that. It can do, but it doesn't always. Tier 6 match this is. Sorry about the chat, I don't know what's wrong with it, but every time you seem to see the same message twice, but nothing much we can do about that bug with the replay system. Should be sorted out in patch 9.15. Which I'll be doing my Tiger reviewing hopefully, because they're buffing the Al-56 KWK 88mm gun to boost its penetration. So I'm heading up to my favourite spot for medium tanks, and heavy tanks, any tank really, on Prokhorovka, which is this hill. It's very good for flanking, and heavies fight up here, but it's just a generally good position on this map, because you've got cover of the whole ground down here. KV2 wins t-25, t-34 85 dies. I mean, the KV2 was going to end a tank. It does launch hydrogen bombs at its target. So we got, I believe it's a KV85 cap in. I'm not sure about that tank down there. So we'll switch to my perspective as we attack this KV1 and just watch the rate of fire. As you can see, the alpha damage isn't great, but there I got a high damage roll. Start attacking him, bounce. Accuracy obviously it's not the best in the world, but I let it in. I actually hit him there. I'll take back to my control of the camera. As you can see from this hold down to position all, you can see it's turret. But it doesn't work the armour angling doesn't work very well. But yeah, rate of fire, you can pin tanks above you where you can shoot through their weakest armour. So obviously I come up the hill to flank, yeah. But there's some heavies coming up, and this is when problems change for the worst. So we're breaking even at the minute, scores are 4-4. Ah, I see. So I start firing up at this tank, so we'll switch to my... I don't have much of a shot at him with this gun's accuracy, obviously. I aim off this one. I start taking hits, I'm not too sure where. I believe on the side. I take a hit from artillery. My explosive. Or it may be a tank. And that tank fires at me, and that hit compromises things for me. I do fire off the warning shots to say, look, I am aware that you're here. I then retreat back, and I'm going to put to advantage the view range of this tank and its concealment qualities. This SU-85, by the way, he's a bot. I did submit a report about him. Because the fact is, I really don't like people who are botting all the tanks, because they could be the crucial contribution to make this match a win, and without this, unfortunately, I got a loss. 2 losses. So both flanks are completely collapsing, and obviously we're kind of more on the defensive role. And they get killed out of nowhere by Panzer IVs and just got to wait until they get hit. I obviously pinged the map and said there's a heavy up on the hill, because I want to take that hill back if possible, but I don't know that there's a Panzer IVs obviously that has spotted me. So what I'll do is I'll play another battle, because these are the only 2 replays I've got at the minute, and then I'll pop up with another replay. So until then, yeah. So here I am on the Fords map, and this particular replay I think gives credit to the rate of fire of this tank. Also its sniping capabilities, and also shows another one of its jack of all trades capabilities. But it definitely shows the rate of fire qualities of this tank. I'm not going to say much more, I don't want to spoil it. So, first of all, I want to head down over there in that mountain, that gap between that mountain, to see if I can help the heavies that should be going down there. I emphasise the word should be going down there, to take on any tanks wanting to go past that pass. There should be all the heavy tanks, or at least 2 of them. In this case we only have we have 2, so all the heavy tanks should be down there. Light tanks and medium tanks should be over fighting over that. Well, medium tanks can come down here as well, but we definitely need most medium tanks up there. The enemy has 3 heavy tanks, a Churchill, a KV-1, and a Debrechtwagen 2. And suddenly I realised that, hang on a minute, I'm going to be alone. 1 heavy's on his way, but that's not going to be much help for me. So I decide to head to my favourite sniping spot in the field, which is over there where that artillery is. It's a very nice sniping point, and I can range it over here. So I decide to head down there and part myself with some concealment and attack, and cover the heavy from a distance, so we're more or less likely to take return fire than I would usually. Lose our first tank, winning 2-1. So I just, you can see the first few tanks have been spotted. The Toldy's 3s over there, as well as some heavy tanks. Artillery opens fire, and I park behind here. And I'm going to switch to my perspective now, just to show you exactly what this tank can do. First shots bounce. Penetration. Penetration. Look at the rate of fire on this thing. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. So there's kill number 1. Marder 2. Track him. He's been there. Got him. Toldy 3 light tank. No. So I've got 2 kills already. That's just with the rate of fire. That is, you can get a lot of kills if you know how to play this tank properly. But there is more action to come. I'm just waiting for tanks to come of this peak, and then one gets spotted if you look on the minimap on G8. And I spot him too and think, right, you're getting dangerously close to our cap circle, and it looks like I may die here, but I'm going to go down fighting. That light tank out me. Tolly-3's got a terrible gun. I auto-aim on this person to use a tactic which is basically where I scoot around tanks, moving as best I can, and I take advantage of this rate of fire compared to that. Some you are there. Deal with him, but I pretty much had it. And there we go. I'm sorry, but obviously the replay cut out at the end of the Frauds one, so thank you very much for watching my World of Tanks tank review on the T-34. I hope I put forward exactly how very good this tank is and how much I cannot suggest that you get this tank. And also, surprisingly enough, I completed mission here and got 75,000 credits for it. I can't remember which mission it is. Well, look. I remember it being called MT-14, yes. Destroy at least 3 enemy tanks. And so I got 75,000 credits for it. So thank you so very much for watching this video, and until the next time, goodbye.